Hey everyone, Cody from Mac Telecom Networks. In this video, we're going to install an outdoor access point in my backyard. About a month ago, I installed a Switch Flex utility box, a Unifi Switch Flex, and a G4 bullet camera in my backyard. I'll put a link to that video below as well. The access point that we're going to be going with is the Access Point Mesh Pro. Although this is a bit of an older access point, it still works great for outdoor use. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the bell icon. If you'd like to hire me for network consulting, visit www.mactelecomnetworks.com. You can find us on Instagram at Mac Telecom Network. We have a Discord server and an Amazon storefront, and I'll put the links in the description. So first, let's see what comes in the box with the Access Point Mesh Pro. First up, we have our Access Point Mesh Pro. On the front, we have an LED, and this will tell us if it's adopted into our controller. And then we have the Unifi logo. On the back, we have a metal mounting bracket, and to get this off, we need to press both of the two dimples on the sides and then pull it out. We'll be using this mounting bracket on the back of my fence. On the bottom, we have the cover that will be where our Ethernet cable goes, and there's these two holes where the Ethernet cables go into. If we take a look on the inside, we could see we have a main port and a secondary pass-through port. We also have a reset button. The Mesh Pro also comes with two pole clamps. We have some carriage bolts and some flange nuts. We also have a 48 volt power over Ethernet injector, and it comes with some screws and anchors for wall mounting. Now that we've seen what comes in the box, let's go over some of the specs of the Access Point Mesh Pro. So it's a 3x3 MIMO technology on the 802.11ac dual band. It's capable of speeds up to 1750 megabits per second, and it has an omnidirectional super antenna for 360 coverage. And this access point could cover up to 183 meters or 600 feet. The price of this access point is $199 USD MSRP. And if you're trying to find this access point, you won't find it on the Ubiquiti website if you click on networks and then go to Wi-Fi. It's just not showing up there, either in the US store or the Canadian store. What you need to do, we need to go up to the search button, and then we need to type in mesh. From here, we could see the Access Point Mesh Pro. Now I'm going to grab my camera, go outside, we'll get this mounted and plugged into my switch. All right, so it's going to be pretty noisy as we have a bunch of house construction going on behind us. But anyway, this is where my USW Flex utility box is, and the switch is sitting inside there. There's one of my G4 bullet cameras. I have this outdoor rated cable. This is actually direct burial, so it has this gel filling in it. And what we're going to do, I typically don't use zip ties, but we're going to, just to make it look a little cleaner, across the back of my fence. And then right here is where we're going to mount the new Mesh Pro access point. So I'm going to get this mounted and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, now the Mesh Pro access point is installed. You can see it up on the fence. We have a bit of a drip loop underneath going into the main Ethernet port of the access point. I ran the cable along the bottom of the fence and then down into my switch utility box. The second cable, that's going to the access point, and I terminated it with a clear boot. Now we need to go back to the computer and get it adopted and then do some testing. All right, now we're back inside, and we could see on my Unifi network controller that we're pending adoption for the UAP AC Mesh Pro. We'll click on the access point, and then we'll press adopt. Now the access point is adopted and I've upgraded the firmware, let's take a look at some of the settings. So clicking on the UAP AC Mesh, we can see an overview with our MAC address, a model, a version of firmware, the Wi-Fi experience for both the 2G and the 5G, the IP address, our link capacity, the uptime of the access point, the memory usage, and load average. We could also see Wi-Fi memberships. Right now it's under all of these Wi-Fi SSIDs. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new Wi-Fi SSID to test, and we'll only put that Wi-Fi SSID on this new access point. If we click under uplink wired, it's going to show us which switch we're uplinking to. So it's our backyard switch in port 2. If we take a look under clients, we have no connected clients right now, and then we have our config wheel. Here we could name the access point. I'm going to call it outdoor AP. And then we could turn on or off the LED settings or just use the site settings. Under our radios, this is where we could change our channel width, our channel, or our transmit power. Under the 5 gigahertz, I'm going to change this to VHT80, and then we're going to press Q changes and apply. We also have some other settings, so we could enable meshing or disable meshing on this access point, and then we have enable airtime fairness. We also have enable minimum RSSI. We also have band steering and then services. Under services, we could tell this access point which management VLAN to use, we could set SNMP. Under our network, we could either choose DHCP or set a static IP. I'm going to leave it on DHCP. And then under manage device, this is the same as any other unified device. Under our tools, we have an RF environment scan, which we could scan our 2G and our 5G, and then we could do a debug terminal. Under stats, we could see our CPU and memory utilization, as well as our channel utilization for the 2G and the 5G. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new network and a Wi-Fi network for this access point just to do some testing. So I'll go over to the settings wheel, and then we'll click on networks. From here, we'll create a new network, and I'm going to call this outdoor. I'll give it a VLAN ID of 126 and then a gateway IP subnet of 192.168.126.1/24. We'll update the DHCP range, scroll down and press save. Now that the network's created, we need to create a wireless network. We'll create a new wireless network and I'll call this outdoor test. We'll give it a WPA personal of test 1234 and then we'll select the network of outdoor. Under advanced options, we need to select the AP group we want this Wi-Fi SSID to go into. Right now it's under all APs, but we only want it to go to the Mesh Pro access point. So I've created an AP group of outdoor. We'll select that and we could edit. We could see that the outdoor AP is the only AP in this group. So now we could scroll down to the bottom and press save. So I did some testing, and in my backyard where the Mesh Pro is sitting, I was getting about 160 megabits per second down and about 160 up. When I went to my front yard, I got about 75 down and about 50 up. And then I went to my mailbox, which is about 250 feet away. I was still able to connect, and that was through a bunch of different houses. I was getting about 7 megabits per second down, which is actually decent for what it had to go through. These access points are meant to be in open, large areas. I'm going to be installing a couple of them at a condominium, and I may be able to record it, so look out for that video. If you have any questions about this access point, please leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. All right, thanks.